I'm back with you today with a fresh smartwatch review. Today we have the KUMI GT6 Pro smartwatch. Now I'm going to take this out of the box, show you what comes out of the box, as I do in all of my smartwatch reviews, and you can find all of those on my fitness tracker and smartwatch review playlist on my YouTube channel. And I'll show you what comes out of the box, and then I'm going to go charge this up off screen, wear it for several days, and then come back with my full, fair, and honest assessment. I purchased this with my own money, and by my money I mean your money, the ad revenue, the small amount of ad revenue that gets generated from my YouTube channel by doing these reviews. I take that and invest it right back into the channel with new products, fitness gear, and smartwatches primarily. And, you know, so I can keep bringing these reviews to you. So out of the box, we have the watch itself, which this band looks pretty cool. I mean, it's probably just, I don't think it's real leather. No, it's some sort of synthetic leather, but that's as close to a carbon fiber looking strap as you can find. And obviously we like carbon fiber on this channel. So let's peel off this screen protector here. I'm going to press and hold the button. I'll press and hold the button to see if there is any battery life out of the box. And so far, I don't see or hear anything. Let me press the lower right one. Perhaps that's the power button, and see if anything happens there. Nothing happening there either, so I'm guessing this has no charge in it at all. Let me see if there are any other buttons on here. No, there's just those two, top right and bottom right. Yeah. A lot of times these will have some juice in them, but this one does not. And then there's a little accessory box here that is going to have the magnetic charging. Oh, this is a charging station now. I prefer these over just the little magnetic clips, so that the watch itself will rest in this cradle and charge up thusly. And then it's got a little instruction manual. Print looks small, but it's readable. So yeah, that's what comes out of the box. Let me go charge it up and come back with my full, fair, and honest review in a few days, if not a week or more. But in your time, as of right now, you're going to see it in just a few seconds through the magic of editing. Okay, so here we are a few weeks later, and I'm back with the full evaluation of this smartwatch. Again, this is the GT6 Pro smartwatch, and you can faintly see here maybe, this is the always-on display that you can turn on and off. And I'm going to press the button to make it come alive. I'm going to go into my settings, go into display, go to the always-on clock. I'm going to switch that to analog. And now I'm going to let this screen time out and let the analog always-on display come on. So you see sort of the swept hands of the clock there. And let's go back into the settings. And I'm going to change this screen time from 5 seconds up to its maximum of 30 seconds for the purposes of this review. I have the raise to wake feature turned off to save battery life, but you can set the time this display comes on when you lift your wrist to wake it up. And then there's that always on display factor there. So let's go there and shut that down or turn it off. All right, so the always on display is now off. And let's go to, I don't see brightness. There we go. Let's turn this up all the way. Again, for the purposes of this review, I usually turn it all the way down to save battery life. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and on this watch you have a series of symbols and numbers going around the outside of the watch. All right, the increments here and numbers are from 1 to 24, so that makes sense. But all these little symbols, I have no idea what that means, but it looks kind of neat. But you might also say it looks kind of cheesy. So it all, like I said, it's in the eye of the beholder. The brightness, screen, time, display, I showed you all of that. You can change your menu style to various styles. There's that display again. Sorry, battery. It gives you your battery life left, and you can put it into a power saving mode. Here is what sets this watch apart from all other smartwatches I've ever seen or reviewed. We're based on the action, like an incoming call, or you press the face to light it up, or incoming messages, whatever it is, you can set a light display. And the whole display around the face of the watch does its thing. So that's effect 1. Let me turn this light off so you can see this light show a little bit better. That is effect 2 that you just saw. And then effect 3. All right. Effect 4, which is my favorite, pulsating red lights. I use this when I get incoming text messages, and it'll vibrate and give you a little light show. It's just a little bit easier to know when a message has come in. And again, this has to be tethered with your phone via Bluetooth Low Energy to have those notifications pushed from your phone to your watch. Here's effect 5. All right. Effect 6, and I think it's important to show you all these little light displays because, like I said, they're pretty cool, and that's what sets this watch apart. And there's effect 7. I kind of like that one too. And then lastly, here's effect 8. All right, so let's go back to 4. Okay, so yeah, message notification, incoming calls, lift to wrist, your wrist, change watch face. So whatever function you want, you can have like a separate light display for it. So that is cool. Very, very cool. And that's under the colorful lights option. There's a vibrate intensity, so when you get notifications, this thing will buzz. I have that set to strong. Language, you can change your language. There's the QR code for the app. More about that in a moment. You can set a password. The down key settings, so basically when you press this bottom right, you can decide what you want it to do. Right now I have it set to when I press that, it'll go into my workout options, okay? Then you have some system settings here. There's that system info. It is indeed the GT6 Pro smartwatch, and it gives you the user interface version, the MAC address, firmware version, and whatnot. So that's all pretty cool. Let's go back in there to settings, system, and then you can shut it down or reset it right from the watch itself. Now, from the main interface here, or the main face, if we swipe from left to right, right to left, you get your estimate of kilocalorie burn for the day, your estimated miles walked, and your estimated number of steps. Here is your heart rate in beats per minute. All right. And here is where you can connect it via Bluetooth, low energy with your phone, and make and take calls. And that works. I've tested it. It's got a built-in microphone and speaker. Here is your sleep from the night before in hours and minutes. And then we can pull in the weather from the phone, again, when tethered. And it's given me, today is Monday. It's going through Thursday, so it's given me 4 days worth of forecast here, and it's given me my estimate of high temperature, low pressure, whether it's going to be sunny, partly cloudy, and whatnot. If we keep going, we can get into sports modes this way. Plenty of sports modes in here. Okay, plenty. And there's the light display I have set up for when I do a sport. To get out of there, you just press that upper right button and end it. And this says too little data to save, so yeah, that makes sense. But plenty of sports modes in here. And then you can add an additional face if you want. The only other option here is for music, and that's a music controller for your smartphone when tethered via Bluetooth, so you can control your phone music functions and features from the watch itself. And then that gets us right back to the beginning. That's all the screens you get there, okay? From the main face, we swipe up, we get our SMS messages, and I've tested this and it works just fine. It was straightforward. Just be sure in the app you enable the right notifications for SMS messages and incoming calls and, access to your contact log and whatnot. So that works just fine. That's all to see there. If we swipe from left to right, we get sort of a shortcut menu that will take us to our messages or settings or weather, or you can go right into your telephone call mode. So let's go look at the app and then come back to the watch with my final thoughts. The app here is named KUMI Wear. I'm going to press that and then flash that name up on your screen. KUMI Wear, K-U-M-I-W-E-A-R is the name of the app. When we get in here, you will see sort of your top progress bar here. That is your estimated distance walked, your estimated number of steps, and your estimated kilocalorie burn on the inside. All right, that was working from outside to inside. You can set a target number of steps. Here is your sleep tracking from the night before. And you can go back and look at your sleep from previous days and weeks and months, all right? So you see here, I have indeed been wearing this watch a while to give it a good thorough test. Sleep tracking seems to be pretty accurate in my opinion. Here is your heart rate in beats per minute, and it gives you a heart rate range from resting to sort of your high heart rate. This again I think is fairly accurate, but again, this is not a medical device, so do not trust any health information about your body. Don't trust any of this data as actual real a diagnostic, as if it's a medical device, because it is not. These things really are for reference only, and they generate numbers, and you have to know if they're relative to a real clinical measurement that you can compare it to. Generally, people use these devices to track whether things are elevated or go the opposite way in terms of blood pressure, heart rate, sleep, whatever it is. It's a guide. It's for entertainment purposes primarily, not for health diagnostics. Don't treat it as a medical device. Okay, all of those disclaimers out of the way. It will do blood pressure. But you have to take this measurement when you're in the app connected to the watch. When I went to the watch, if you recall, I go through the settings here. There's your heart rate, but there's no option to do a blood pressure on demand from the watch. So that's kind of important to keep in mind. You have to do that from the app. But it gives you your average heart rate. The numbers for Americans are inverted. That number we would really call that 120/74. And it gives you a high and a low range there. Here is blood oxygen saturation. Again, this is SpO2. You have to do this when you're tethered to the watch, and you have to take this measurement from the app, all right? So I really didn't take many of these. 720, that said 98%. You know, you would have to compare that to a real pulse oximeter. This thing does have both the green and red diodes in it, so that's good. I like the red diodes for SpO2 measurements, and that's about it on the main screen. You can go in your sports modes, and you can start an exercise from your app, and if you have location services turned on your phone, then you can get some maps and some information from that, but that's pulling it from your phone. It is not a GPS watch. Here's the device itself. It gives you the amount of battery life left in there, okay? It's got many watch faces in here that are all pretty cool. You can manage your contacts, a card holder, your weather reports, and that's that option where you can turn those on and it will pull that in to the smartwatch from your phone. Notifications, here's where you would set what notifications you want pushed to the watch. I only have a couple basic ones, but you can enable that. So you've got that. You've got reminders you can set up. You've got alarms you can set up. Reminders. The alarm, if you wanted to set a time, you could have it vibrate to wake you up. You can set up alarms to wake you up or remind you of certain things, and it will vibrate and maybe even give you a light display if you have that enabled. And you can set up reminders to get up and move or drink water. There's the sports push, and you can look at all the sports in here. And you can download whatever sports activities you want from this list and push them to the watch, and they will be available there. Device settings. Here's where you would enable raise to wake. Wrist preference, I've got it on left hand. Hour system, this would be either 12 or 24 hour time, and I told it to follow my phone. And here is where you can shake the watch to have it take a picture from your phone, again when tethered via Bluetooth, so you can use this as a remote camera trigger. You can restore the factory settings. Here's a little bit about your device, and you can see if there is a new firmware version. This says I've already got the latest version. There's a little Me button here, little section. You can change the units from metric kilometers to kilograms, and from centigrade to Fahrenheit. And women's health, you can enable this, and you can set a 28-day cycle tracking feature. There's some FAQs built in. That's the basics. The app I like. It's good, it's straightforward, it's easy to read, easy to understand, and it's laid out well, and it makes a lot of sense. Alright, so here's my bottom line, and if I press and hold the watch face here to change faces, you can see there's a bunch in here that you can choose if you wish. This is the one I like the most. This guy, I bought this with my own money on Temu for about $25, and as of right now, it says this watch is sold out. It's got two buttons, one on the top right, one on the bottom right. The back has these weird symbols on it. Again, a little bit like the remains of the whatever crashed in the desert in Roswell. Some obscure little symbols. Some sensors, green and red and white diodes in there. These are the connectors for your charging cradle. I like this watch a lot. I think the colorful light display really sets it apart, and people have commented when I get a message and it gives me that little light show, they say, hey, that is really cool, what kind of watch is that? And my answer is, well, it's the KUMI GT6 Pro smartwatch. And, you know, it's got a real leather band here, and I like the diamond pattern in here. It kind of looks like carbon fiber a little bit. It is a genuine leather band. I've confirmed that. It's detachable. It's got a 1.3 inch 360 by 360 pixel AMOLED display. It's got 100 plus sports modes. It's got that colorful light display that we talked about, heart rate monitoring, sleep tracking. This is IP68 waterproof, and it's got a 220 to 300 milliamp hour battery. I think it's a 300 milliamp hour battery. That typically gives you about 7 days of normal use. You can get more if you turn off Bluetooth most of the time. I found the battery life to be good. I can go several days before I have to charge it up again. It's got that blood pressure. It's a zinc alloy strap. My bottom line is I would recommend this. If it's got the features you're looking for, and you're looking for kind of a snazzy little watch, much different than what people have seen before, especially with that light display, I would recommend it. And you know, it's selling on AliExpress right now for about $34, which is higher than what I paid for it. But even at that, I would say it's a pretty good value for the money if you like the looks of it and you like the idea of a light display. I'll just leave it right there. Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up for this budget price range. I think it's a pretty good smartwatch. I'll drop a link below. Go check it out on AliExpress, and if Temu gets it back in stock, I will update the description and add a link there as well. So, hope you enjoyed this review. Go check out all my fitness tracker and smartwatch reviews on the that same name playlist on my YouTube channel. My channel is really about my kayaking adventures, and I do smartwatch and smart ring reviews as a way to monetize my site a little bit. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for viewing. If you want to subscribe, that would support my efforts here. Share this review or any of my reviews or kayaking adventures with your friends. Leave a comment. That all helps me spread the word and let more and more people know about this channel and these reviews. So I think it's a beautiful watch. Go check it out, and feel free to come check me out at DaveTheKayaker.com. Until next time, be healthy, be fit, and don't be crazy out there. Use some common sense.